Hello, welcome to the program, The Desk on Global TV. The Desk is a program that looked into issues that are coming up on the newspapers. Of course, everybody in Nigeria knows that indeed 2025 is on its way out. And by so doing, we try to take assessment of what the government has so far done from January this year to its ending in December 31st. And today is 22nd. Of course, we just have a few days to round off the year. And so we are looking at some of the issues that are trending in the newspapers today, where very many of them are talking about the economy. And we want to find out to what extent can one say that this government from the month of January to December want to take assessment, a scorecard, or either the lapses notice in the administration of Bola Tinubu. And I'm being joined by a well-known lawyer who is the leader of the Yoruba Council in the person of Are Oladotun Hassan Esquire, President Yoruba Council Worldwide, and also Nigeria Coalition Group. I believe he has been following the activities of this government with issues that are trending today in the newspapers, where many of them are assessing the economy of the government by going to what we saw when he appeared in the National Assembly to lay the 2025 budgets, and then how the economy is faring, what has he really done, and what has he not done, and what does he intend to do going forward by the time we get into 2026 January. So it's a pleasure having you on the program via WhatsApp, Barrister Are Oladotun Hassan.
It's a pleasure to be on your program. Good afternoon, viewers at home. I'm glad to be on your program.
I appreciate it. I believe you are in Lagos.
Yes, sir.
So how is Lagos?
Yeah, Lagos is bustling for dirty December, and for all of lovers of fun, Lagos is just the center of excellence for such, and we are glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. In a short while, I believe a professor of emeritus in the person of Ibrahim Abubakar will be joining us on this discussion this evening on Global TV. You can watch us on DSTV channel 365, and we are all on social platforms, either X or YouTube, wherever. You get us there, Facebook. We are trending all over, and we are viewed in Nigeria and even outside the country as well. So without taking much of your time, let me just go straight. What will you say about Bola Tinubu administration since he came on board in 2023? And we're taking a look of his activities, whether he has succeeded or not in 2025 going forward.
Well, this is a government that has been able to achieve momentarily in a subtle way. The government have achieved positively. We might not have been able to count all his achievement now, but in a spiral way, from security to infrastructure to education to every spheres of the national development, there is always a spot on of development. There is always a commitment, and where there are lapses, this is a government that is ready to lean backward to hear and listen to the citizen. In terms of insecurity, you cannot overemphasize the landmark achievement of this government, not just by patting the government in the back. It's a government that is having sleepless nights with marching orders, with change of guard at every point in time, despite the unbearable condition the government found itself when it took over government. It met a carcass account, but that can be admitted and verified by the ongoing investigation of the former Attorney General Malami. You can see from what was stolen, you can review that a lot went down the drain. From what the former CBN governor too, who equally stole to the marrow of this country. We also what Emefiele did, and several other situations that is still undergoing investigation. It doesn't mean that. That's why the fact that some of these people are still members of the APC, while some of them are not. The government never give a hoot when he was telling the governors of APC during their executive meeting. I've never seen a president who would take such risk to threaten governors of his own party that if you do not give local government their due money, he will do it directly without hesitation. So it means it's a government that have a fist and ready to defend the democracy. And as to me, I see him not just because he's a president, he's a man that loves due process. He's a man that always wants everything to be done accordingly to the law. And if you look at his trajectory, being a former governor, a former senator, an advocate of true democracy that brought the military back to the barrack and brought about the democracy we are all talking about today, he played a huge role to the survival of this country's democracy. We cannot say in whole that Asiwaju has achieved in all his life ambition by becoming a president. I believe his most determined ambition is to take Nigeria to the greatest Eldorado, where Nigeria can live at par with the United States and other developed nations of the world. I see his vision glowing every day in his heart, seeing how best he can make Nigeria a world oil producing country. And we are seeing that in the oil and gas sector, whereby through his intervention, he has been able to bring about a like mind, supporting local investors. Dangote has been able to succeed because the president gave him the support. And you can see the support is immeasurable, and that's why the fuel, which when he took over was 1,500, and as a date is already going towards 500,000. And we believe by the end of this year or first quarter of next year, dollar would have gone down to like 500, and our fuel could have been 100 naira per liter. This would not just be a miracle, but a stint of hard work by a president who is willing to deliver, who is ready to walk the talk and ensure show leadership by sacrifice and service.
Okay, Barrister. We have our professor here, Professor Emeritus in the person of Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. We are being joined by him. Meanwhile, Professor, this is Are Oladotun Hassan Esquire, who is the President, Yoruba Council Worldwide, and also Nigeria Coalition Group. We are looking at the achievements of Bola Tinubu administration from January this year to the end. So cheering to say that in the newspapers you hear that the remaining part of the St. Mary's Catholic School, the pupils that were kidnapped some weeks ago in Niger State, they have been able to rescue them and they are now free. I'm just imagining, it's all over the newspapers today. And that one is saying that President Bola Tinubu truly has done a lot. But if you look at in between time from January to where we are, issues relating to insecurity, there have been so many that today we get so afraid until with the rescue that we have just had today being delivered by the Minister of Information in the person of Alhaji Mohammed Idris. What's your take?
It is shocking, but let me just put it this way. If not for some purpose, I will play the voice message between the negotiators and the bandits. You find out that it was actually a very thread of negotiation. So if you look at the thread of negotiation, you find out that the release was not just a release as they are claiming to be. It wasn't.
So can that be seen to be an achievement?
It's not an achievement.
In your own opinion, Barrister, can you see the release of these, the remaining 130 students of the St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State, where the school was, the students in the school were kidnapped, including teachers, and until yesterday that we got to hear the news from the spokesperson, the Minister of Information for the administration, that the remaining ones and the teachers are now back and they handed over to the governor or to the government of Niger State for profiling and then send them back to their parents so that they can reunite. Some of them are saying the government has done well, but in a situation whereby you rescue and no arrest is made of those who carry out that dastardly act, what will you say to the government? Can that be seen to be an achievement?
Well, it is only those that have been through pains of odious tax of being kidnapped and they found their person being released that will go to every place to give testimony and thank God for granting the release of such people. It is very important we appreciate the hand that is doing, rather and encouraging such hands to do more, because those that are in the forest, you will could recall the release and the manner of whereby our military are working day and night deserves a commendation. We are not thanking Mr. President alone. We are thanking those military boys that are in the thick of the forest, doing all in which sometimes you wouldn't know. On gun battle, some of them lost their lives, their limbs, they are having their own health issues now. But this rescue, most of the time, come under gun battle. So, looking at the fact that every day, if we are to wait for their arrest of those Boko Haram, have you read and watched when we heard that majority of them are neutralized on the battlefield? For you to neutralize a well-armed Boko Haram militia to the tooth and you bring him down, do you think it takes just one bullet? It takes a whole maneuvering. It takes a whole lot of intelligence. So we have to give it to them. Waiting for the teeth when the head is off is just like you are not appreciating God that, yes, somebody are alive. Over 130. Still, how many years when we've had during the maybe the Jonathan era, the Chibok girls, the Dapchi girls, a lot of them are yet to be back till date because we forget so soon. Only those that come back home are those that will remember. Some of the people that are not reported in the media are equally suffering. So, Mr. President must be commended. Mr. President must be given a thumbs up. And for me, I see it as a good omen that yes, something is happening. It's not that maybe something is not happening. Not just that alone. The Niger State we've witnessed, though it is important that we understand from the angle of arrest, it's important that they should go more further to arrest and prosecute connivers, sponsors, even those that give information, those that sell the petroleum for them, those that supply the food, the bread. These are all amalgam of people that needs to be arrested. So if those that are arrested, and you can see when Mr. President was reading the budget, which ought not to even come to the fore, Mr. President admits strongly that his government is ready to go the odd. That is not yet time for him to forgive any Boko Haram. He's very, very passionate about that. And that is why in the budget, he called it a budget of consolidation. He gave security and defense the highest priority. It is not easy for President to remove his ministers, change the arms and guard, bring in the former chief of defense staff to head the Ministry of Defense. And we cannot do it all alone. It takes a leadership with a heart of service to do it. So I want to implore the professor not to for us to look at every issue with sentiment or a view of the fact that maybe we are not concerned. The little things when we say thank you will go a long way to appreciate those military that brought those people back home. If it is remaining, let all of us give information, intelligence, and subtle support. What are the support? Ensuring the government is not let down. Letting the government know that yes, it's doing, and the citizens are behind it. If this government have been toppled on the 1st of October, will anybody be in the studio? Do you know what it takes to defend a country as big as Nigeria? It takes a whole lot. It's not just about political campaign or trying to play the opposition card. It goes to be more passionate and patriotic. And that is why I can boldly say, without hesitation, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have tried and have delivered in a most appreciative way that Nigeria should show sense of appreciation. it's not easy for the head that wears the crown.
Okay.
How I wish each one of us can just spend one day in the villa. And you know what it takes. So we must commend if he's doing it rightly, and where there are lapses, let us constructively criticize the government,
Okay.
not to destructively end the government.
Okay, Barrister, let me, the professor is seated here. At the point that I asked this question, he categorically mentioned that this is not an achievement because the negotiations that brought about the release, they are quite very glaring. You know, that if not for any other reason, he would have played the voice of the voices of the negotiator. In another opinion, Professor Emeritus Brian Abubakar, and you said you don't see that to be an achievement.
No, it's not an achievement. I disagree with him. There is no sentiment in issues like this. I don't think it's more Yoruba than myself. So we are not going tribal. But what I'm saying is this: for how long are we going to go around the trip and going around the circle when the actual solution is not there? We shouldn't applaud somebody because somebody was, so they brought kidnapped or adopted students and brought them to a location and said, pick them from that location and start going. That is not a fight. That is not a war. That was not even anything that has to do with the military or the security agencies. So if I said I have stolen,
Professor,
if I said I have stolen your material and that material is kept under Ojota Bridge, you can go to Ojota Bridge and pick it. You have nothing to do with me. You cannot say you have used one security detailing intelligence, statistics, strategy or tactics to get that thing back.
But Prof, here's the thing. We have seen situations where these kidnappers will kidnap unsuspected members of the society. Even when ransoms are paid, they will still collect these ransoms and still kill the victims. But in this case, did you dig further to know what the government did to ensure?
The streamlining people don't understand, and I have said it here in this studio. If anybody kidnap me, is asking for ransom. It's not asking for anything, and there is a reason why this kidnapping is going on in the schools. And I have asked questions: why always females? Why not males? And I explain it in details why it is always females. And I said there is international conspiracy because they are using the female hormone system for us to reduce our population. So the population increased by giving birth to female children. That is the international dimension. The second dimension is the harvest, the organ harvesting. That is the big deal. That is where the money is. These are the two areas where the money is, and that is where the international bodies are. So when you are asking of Chibok girls, asking of Dapchi girls, the girls are not there because they have done a lot of damage on them. They are organ harvesting and also the human system. So when you go to the illicit homes, you see that the birth rates are normally higher female, lower female, because we all go for foreign products. We sleep foreign, eat foreign, do everything foreign. So you don't know that the hormone systems are there. So you produce the females.
Wow.
That is so the dimension is that our security profession, our security expertise has not been able to know why these things are happening.
Yeah, but we are taking an assessment whether they are facing the organs. But the question here is, some individuals at the point were kidnapped, and here we are. They were being told just today, yesterday and today.
It's not enough for me to give him credit, because you cannot show a proof of evidence that it is your negotiation that brought these issues.
But who announced it to you then?
The negotiation.
Who announced to you? Well, how did you get to know that these victims or these captives have been released? Who told you this? Is it not the government?
If the government has told me that, what happened? How can you say you release 100 and something people and no one single arrest?
That's the question.
And you are telling me that you have done the best for the nation or for the security apparatus. That is not what we are thinking of. We are looking for a solution, and there must be a solution. You can't just come and tell me that.
But you listen to the president's speech when he delivered or he presented the budget of 2026. In one of the areas of his own speech, he categorically mentioned that whoever, whatever, how you look like, which position you occupy, one, it is known that you are helping and abetting criminality in Nigeria. You will be tagged as a terrorist.
My brother,
is that an achievement?
My talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
Okay, let me get back to Barrister. Barrister.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Following you.
Yeah.
I'm following you.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The professor is of the opinion that aside from painting the picture because you are of the same ethnic group with the president, in your own mind as a person who looks at issues that are happening in this country, will you say indeed there is much to be done?
Yes, there is much to be done because it's not yet to Huru. Not that Mr. President has scored himself the way we are even scoring him. He doesn't even see that he has even done more to the apex of his achievement. But the little he is doing, what we are saying, is not ethnic line related. And that's why I want to correct the prof. That what we are saying is in the capacity as the convener Nigeria Coalition Group and the President Yoruba Council, and I see it as a general of all ethnic groups. Mr. Gimba, you can admit times without number how much our group have been very altruistic in defending our democracy, and that's what we represent. We don't represent sentiment. When we say things, we just have to give commendation. An American government will not go and rescue their citizens, kill and neutralize go back to their country. The only thing they give them is the thumbs up. The citizens will be proud of the military. But yeah, let that military man do things. People will be looking from which tribe. If it's not a Northern man, it must be an Igbo man. If it's not an Igbo man, it's a Yoruba man. We need to remove this toga of hatred of whatever we are discussing. Let's be very dispassionate. Let's be very more Nigerian. Let all of us look at Nigeria project as our collective responsibility. These all arrests require take a position of the governor of that state are involved. If the governor might not have been an achiever, the requirement of the local government, the determination of the local government, the commissioner of police of that state, had they not committed at all? We cannot say it is all over because this set of Boko Haram, let's now come to reality. The governors and some of the politicians in the north that protects or give some coverage to the Boko Harams or whatever that they might have been doing in the past, even as admitted by El-Rufai, that even while he was a governor, he paid ransom he negotiated. Some of them even brought in all these people by historical antecedent of how they came to Nigeria. But today, it is now a brutal cankerworm that all of us must confront the monster. Now, the situation is coming the way it's coming. And Mr. President is showing energy, giving all support to say, okay, rescue the girls, go all out, do everything humanly possible. If it is humanly possible, one way or the other, even in higher countries that are facing dual war, they still negotiate. It doesn't mean that negotiation is legitimate. But for the sake of bringing these innocent people out, do you know that in the crossfire of bullet, these hoodlums, these criminals use these victims as shield, as human shield. But now, somebody was able to achieve by bringing them out. Firstly, something has been achieved, that life was not lost. The second line of action is bringing those Boko Haram down. And to me, as much as this government have battered, even when General Lagbaja came on board as Chief of Army Staff, the clearance of the Boko Haram was in the highest momentum. There is no forgiveness, unlike before, when we have the Buhari-led government that gave a lot of subtle treatment. So now is a change of thinking. Even the government within its own ambit says that policemen should go back to their duty, not to be pretending over VIPs. That is an achievement for somebody who knows about security. It's not, everything is not about political grandstanding or political noise. No. When somebody is doing something, you have asked me the question, and I provide you detail by detail that this government have achieved in the education sector by granting loan, by working in collaboration with the private sector to provide support education program, ensuring that strikes are not affecting the health sector, the labor, or any other union in order to sabotage the country. Is going further to make sure that the economy is bouncing back. This economy, this country has been battered to its jugular, and it will take a whole lot for a president like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do more. And that's why I'm imploring Prof to have a change of mind. You might have your thinking of the personality, but let's have communal commitment, a communism spirit that Nigeria belongs to all of us.
Okay.
If something brutal had happened on the 1st of October, as not envisaged that a coup had taken place, do you think we'll be here where we are? Somebody will say, oh, because it's a northern interest, the North are saying, I was watching some very reckless statement by some northern leader. They say, oh, the president will not come back remain. Is the country made for one region? No. Collective responsibility.
Yeah.
And if it is democracy, let the people judge. Let the people also. It's not easy. We know the economic stake is very brutish, but it will take a whole bit of little time for Nigerians to equally come to reap from the benefit of this bounty of their investment. It's not easy, but it requires an appealing stage.
Okay.
That let all of us
It appears, Barrister,
way of time. Things have improved
Barrister,
from where
it appears as Professor wants
and
to,
where we are now.
Barrister, it appears as if Professor wants to say something about those
I'm not
issues you
blocking
mentioned.
Professor not to say,
but
I'm just imploring him
Professor,
not to see my statement from ethnic point of view, but let's be open-minded to addressing this issue.
Yeah, Professor, you listen to him clearly.
I've listened to him.
Yeah, while we are looking at these issues, it's an assessment.
I want to address the issues one by one. I am addressing the issue without any sentiments. I don't belong to any party. I won't never belong to any party. I don't belong to any group. I will never belong to any group. I am a Nigerian, so it is. I am not even ready to take any political appointment anytime, any day. So when I'm addressing issues, I address them as a Nigerian. I'm not addressing issues because I have any singular interest. Nigeria is my country, and I remain a Nigerian. That is all I know. Secondly, if we are talking of education, what impact has it done? So you giving somebody's loan, that is an impact, and I should applaud you for getting that from 1972 to 1987. 5 Nigerian universities were among the best universities in the world. Today, no Nigerian universities is among the best 1,700, and you are saying that is an achievement? Achievement because you are giving me loan, which I will pay back some days? I don't get it. Sometimes when people talk, I look at it whether they don't have the indices. And if we are talking of the economy is round down and it's still going down. We are borrowing every day. How much has Asiwaju borrowed? For only 2 years plus now.
But Professor, you were here at a point when he took over government, that was in the regime of late Buhari, where people hardly fed themselves because of high cost of food produce. As a matter of fact, today a bag of rice, the bag of, whether it's foreign or local, is costs within 40 to 50,000 naira.
Yeah.
In the time it used to be 100 to 150,000
Very
naira.
good, but have you visited a restaurant and the price of food has dropped in the restaurant?
It has the mindset of a Nigerian.
I'm coming.
It's a mindset of a Nigerian.
That is not the mindset. That is because there is no control. Controls preventions has to go with control. Protection has to go with control. In management, you have administration, management, and control. So it's not just an administration thing. It's not just management. What of control? But so when we are missing it out, as a research person, as a professor I go down to research. I have talked about the increase of food, yeah. Even before now, you know, when we're talking of food security, and I said not only food security. When under food security, we have farmer security. What are we doing about farmer security? This is an interview I had here last year. You understand me? So we have to.
When you talk about farmer security, which aspect are you talking? Protecting them or giving them money or buy equipment?
No, that is not. You are getting it all wrong.
Okay.
And I came back again and I brought the idea of commodity exchange. Do we do commodity exchange here? No. There are so many things that the security organizations are supposed to learn from professionals that they are not learning and they are lacking. Because our colonial masters gave us protective security. I'm not blaming them because you don't give out what you don't have. But then we should not use it to say somebody has achieved something when nothing has been achieved. Today we are pursuing, I heard him when he was talking of Buhari cabinet and the rest. Yes, very good. Buhari were talking of Jonathan cabinet. Today we are talking of Buhari cabinet. Tomorrow we start talking of Asiwaju cabinet. And that is the whole rule. We bring one propagandic system and bring another propaganda. So if you look at all the whole thing, it is an object of one propaganda to the other, covering the other one to the other. You go to the National Assembly, they are looking for one propaganda that will run them for 1 month and make them stagnant and look for another one as an objective. You go to the executive, the same thing. So that is all the feedback we get all around the years.
But Professor, the barrister rightly mentioned that these students not being provided by the federal government. These people, these are children of the indigent. Their parents are poor. They couldn't have gone to school if not for the fact that this particular policy has come on board and they are being assisted. Today, they have closer to about 784,000 of them. You don't have to know anybody. While you are looking at, now if you provide this loan, what about the quality of the education? Like you rightly mentioned, in all Nigerian universities that we have in this country, none of them is ranked in 1,000 or whatever they are in numbers. And that categorically puts us behind. But then, somebody has shown interest that instead of sitting down at home and become a willing tool to some individuals, collect this money, go to the university and learn and come back and add value to them.
No. I don't buy to that. Nobody was an idiot. Nobody, because they were all in school. They are not people who have not been admitted. They have already spent
they're funding those already in school.
They are already in school, so their parents have already paid for the first year and second year. And they can finish without any fund coming in.
But sir, can you hear what Professor is saying?
They can graduate without anybody funding them.
This number quoted 788,000 of them accessing this net fund are already in the universities, being sponsored by their parents before the government could step in that the way it has done. In your own opinion, can you say it's an achievement?
Well, I'm just astonishingly surprised that, we are talking with on an issue of it. And as a professor of academia, education requires both the teacher and the student to make a success. It's not about the huge money you put into it, but it's about the capacity. I'm a very proud Nigerian because I've come out of a Nigerian university, and I'm very proud that we are one of the best. Our ratings might have been with nucleus of many issues, from ASU strike, from the imbalance of the various unions on the campuses. Even when government is about to be talking about the full autonomy of the schools, the lecturers themselves are part of the enemies of the education. A whole lot of them sell their handout and they are more concerned about their profit. These and many more other issues affect the education sector. Internal sabotage. Some who want to, in order to open their private institution, they want to sabotage the public institution from succeeding. So there are many references in this regard. And for me, and many like minds, and there are many that when a government come on board to introduce new policy that will bring relief, if you don't learn the habit and attitude of saying thank you, in Yoruba land, meaning if you do one good thing and that person do not even show appreciation, that person is more worse off than an armed robber, because it is more good for you to just throw that thing away than now giving it to somebody who's unappreciative. Just like in a home, you give something to a child and that child do not say thank you. You always just want to look back and say, oh, this child is my true person, or is it my child at all? But because I'm not putting any blame, it's as a result of the prison, everybody is looking at every issue. Sometimes, even if you show people the light, that this is the way out, they still want to go back to the Egypt to go and look out for what are the problems when we are looking about for solution. Yes, the government have invested in education through NEL Fund. NEL Fund is giving a free interest loan. Even in America, you take grant, you apply for loan, depending on which way. There are many indigent students. I've led student unionism as a NAS chairman, or even on the campus. I know what it takes to pay school fees, especially parents that are civil servants, not parents that have many hands to feed on so many things, but parents that are managing do not always have the capacity to pay at once. Now, somebody is relieving that burden, even if it is still shifting the burden to a later date. It's providing the fund now. It's making you achieve that thing now. We have to say, even if it is one child that gain it, not talking about over 700,000 from the north, south, east. Even the northern students are gaining more because they believe they need it more and they apply for more. Especially we in the south, I'm sorry to say, we don't actually want to take free gifts sometimes in the south. We always look at it, oh, okay, the government is wanting to use it. Before you know it, the northern student apply for more and they gain more because that is their own interest. The southeast students are there, everybody applied. So even not just the loan alone, they're even given stipends. So if you have not been in through the hard line of paying for school fees, and somebody somewhere gave you a lifeline for your next 4 years, even if they are parents, there is no way you enter the university without paying admission fees, because you must have been a student of the school to gain and to enjoy the benefit. So you cannot be an outsider. So the reality is clear that what Prof is saying is a total no. It doesn't really represent the reality. When the reality shows that Mr. President have done great and mighty, and as an academia, if it needs the teachers, the lecturers to aid more and see what we develop, not going to strike over non-issues, because almost every salaries are paid in time. When school fees are already paid into the school's account, it is now high time we begin to query the professors and the tertiary lecturers that are now managing this money. What are they using it to do? What are they using the school fees that are paid? What are they using it to do? The Ministry of Education, how are they monitoring the development? The policy formulation is not just the duty of president alone. The development requires all of us to commit to it. For me, I'll say another thank you to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in terms of education. Yes. He might not have done all, but what on this budget, on the 2026 budget, he placed education on the third on the roll. It shows his commitment and love for education. Now you can see recently, Dangote donated 1 billion into supporting education grant. That is not a loan. It's a big grant. If the government is not a way forward, no private individual want to throw his money in the sea. So it shows that the students are going to enjoy more.
The professor is listening to you keenly. Let me speak to you briefly. The professor is listening to you keenly, the points you are really making. But of course, the fundamental aspect of his own point of view is you give loan and the universities are not properly taken care of. What have you really done? What's part of it again? These are children that parents had earlier sent to school. Okay, let me yield the microphone.
Mr. Agimba,
let me yield the microphone to Professor.
I'm not here to argue.
Yeah, I know. Just listen for a while.
As a Nigerian, as an advocate of justice and as a lawyer. So I would not sit and allow when I say the truth, I expect me to speak the truth, and you're not allowing me to speak the truth.
Okay, listen to what the professor is saying, and then you try to marry what you are saying, what he has said, or what he will say, so that you can actually understand whether or not the government is going on the right track. Because we are looking at the 2025, his own effort as the president of this country, and possibly what we need to get from him again when we step into January 2026, whether have to have a repeat of what he has done or to have a new thing towards achieving a success in this country. It is that on that point that this particular discussion is being held. Over to you, Professor.
The issue is that I normally don't like arguing with lawyers, barristers, the men of the bench or the bar.
Yes.
I don't normally argue with them because I have a lot of them. My daughter is one, my wife is one, so I know how they speak. They feel they are the most learned. They don't look at the point of things. I look at the point of things. I have the interest of Nigeria in my mind. And I care so much about Nigeria, that is why I'm here. If not, I have no reason to be here.
Yeah.
But the truth is, whether you call it the South, or you call it in the North, or you call it the East, I think I am a secular person around all these places. There is no local government in Nigeria I don't have at least one graduate. And up to today, I have over 2,700 graduates in Nigeria. And I'm not doing politics. I fund them. I did it on my own volition. So education is what I really want everybody to have. Because my mother died because of the education of this country. He died. He was killed, assassinated in Lagos because of that.
Your own mom or dad?
Yes. My mother made University of Benin, University of Ilorin, University of Port Harcourt, University of Calabar, University of Sokoto, University of Jos, University of Maiduguri. In an attempt to put an university in Kano, she was let me say murdered in Lagos. But that is by the way. So the educational institution itself, we have to go back, redress it, redesign it, reorient what education is supposed to mean. I practically have stood on my feet that at a point, even in this regime, from Buhari's regime, I challenged the institutions. Because most of the institutions were not even having a curriculum. So a lecturer just come to a hall and say, today we have this. as a topic, and he starts teaching, they have no curriculum at a point.
Okay.
Even most of the institutions today don't have a curriculum.
Yeah, I realize.
So if you go back to the educational sector, none of them has, from the executives in National University Commission, from Tedford to the Ministry of Education, has not done anything to heighten the educational institution.
Okay, we have just chosen
That is one.
Professor. We have just chosen only one area.
No, we are going to go to
no, because we don't have enough time. At about 10 minutes to.
If you give me the next 3 minutes, I will round up.
Okay, I wouldn't mind.
Security is almost running zero, because now we said America is coming to assist, and we are paying America over 5.1 billion US dollars. And I said it before American that we are going to lose out, and we are losing out is because America will always exploit for us. They are our problem, but we are already feeding them.
No, here's the thing. As it is now, in his budget speech on Friday, he said President Donald Trump provided 5.1 billion US dollars to Nigeria. What I'm coming, sir? In that 5.1 billion US dollars, the American government willingly used it in the health sector. Then the 3 billion will now be counterpart funding. But the 2.1 billion is for the government of America to Nigeria.
What is counterpart funding?
Both of them
I have said it in the studio here that going to Benue alone, America is taking away how many billions? Let America challenge me. I'm a security professional.
Benue?
Yes, they were in Benue.
When they visited?
Yes. They were using high dimension, high frequency satellite system. Why? And who is the security organization that challenged them here? None.
But the question here is, Professor. The delegation that Nigerian government sent to meet with the Secretary of War, that's Pete Hegseth in America. In the agreement they gave to them, the discussion they had, the government has not told us exactly what they said, but American people have begun telling us that they said they should release. One of the things that this government is supposed to do is to release Jackson, who struggled himself to escape from being killed and finally killed the enemy. Now he's in jail. Then the second one is they should name the sponsors. And then the third one is to make sure that whoever that carries AK-47 should be disarmed. They have not told us, they have not done that. Are you saying that the American government is doing the right thing or the wrong thing?
They are doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
They have no interest of Nigeria at heart.
With these guidelines they provided for us.
The person who went to discuss was unable to. He couldn't defend Nigeria the way he's supposed to be defended. Why are we going to see the Secretary of War? For what? Why? What is our business with America?
Okay.
Has America ever brought their trouble to Nigeria to resolve? What is their interest?
Usually, if you are weak, what do? You meet the strong.
No. If you only meet the people that has your interest. Nigeria problem is a problem that can be solved by Nigerians, not any other foreign bodies.
Barrister.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have enough time. I will just give you 1 minute to run off the program by saying your mind. Then Professor will do the same, and then we'll close the discussion.
Well, I must first of all commend the fact that this is more of it's not a contest, but rather it's a conversation for progressive development of our country. And I'm very proud of the fact that all of us love Nigeria, and that's why we are passionate. It reminds me around 2018 when Governor Akeredolu was alive. I, as a person, I always admit it anywhere that I developed the security impetus that brought about the Amotekun in Southwest.
Okay.
We proposed it as an idea then that the only best way is to ensure we localize security. Because when you localize security, you'll be able to identify the foreign saboteurs. In Nigeria today, we are faced with many international saboteurs.
Okay.
From America, France, and all of you. All of them have one or two interests. It's either in our resources. Do you know the resources in Sambisa Forest, if explored today, you cannot be able to quantify the Mongols' support you to add to our economy. But who is arming this Boko Haram? How are they getting arms?
Okay.
Who is sharing our intelligence
all right,
in the army?
All right,
So there are many issues to be answered. But I want to implore that we need to take this conversation more further.
I think what I would do, Barrister, we still have more programs ahead of us, maybe tomorrow and next, before Christmas. Maybe I'll give you that opportunity to talk to us, only you, so that give us explanation to the best you understand, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful and honored.
Thank you, sir. Professor, so many things put together, but we don't have enough time to really talk about. But of course, 2025 is exiting. Just your thought, just 1 minute.
Well, we have to go back to the basic principles of security. The moment we get security right, everything is okay for Nigeria.
It's all right, sir.
But the moment we get it wrong, everything goes wrong. And you should put it in mind, Nigeria remains the richest nation in the world.
All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, sir. Well, viewers, that's how far we can go on the program, The Desk on Global TV. Like I said at the introduction, Global TV is on DSTV channel 365. You watch it on Star Time 276, and then it is all over the social media handles. Just click, you get us there. And these programs are there to entertain, inform, and educate you. We had a professor who explained his mind concerning the achievement of this administration, and the barrister who called from Lagos explaining the achievement of the administration. Of course, 2025 is exiting. Few days to come, we'll be in a brand new year. What happens next becomes the question. My name again is Topsy Gimba. See you some other time. Do have a lovely evening and Christmas that is coming ahead. Bye-bye.